David Bailey's been playing great his first and only season in Lubbock. He has 8.5 sacks through 6 games. That's the most in the country. I love the way that Texas Tech is building up through the trenches. Both him and Romelo Height on the defensive side of the ball. This offensive line on the offensive side of the ball. They just had Cameron Dickey run for 280 yards. He's a great running back. That doesn't happen without a dominant offensive line. We're seeing it on Saturday. We're also seeing it Monday through Sunday, the way that they're recruiting. We have LaDamian Guyton just committed a while ago, but he's going to be in this class of 26 now. Felix Ojo on the offensive side of the ball. It's a lot of fun to see them prioritize the trenches. But we're going to talk about David Bailey right now, and what really sticks out with him is the athleticism. At 6'3", 250, he's a bit undersized as an edge rusher, but we're not going to be talking about the first step with him. I think the way that we talk, like with, remember Latu coming out of UCLA a couple years ago, was just so far into the backfield at 6'5". Take a look at the first step here, but I want to also highlight the second and the third step, how fast they happen. The first one's just a little jab outside. The second and third one, he just flashes to the inside. To number 77, that first step makes him look like he's going to attack his outside shoulder. All of a sudden, David Bailey just like flashes onto the inside, and he doesn't get a sack on this play, but great closing speed as well to force the issue on Jalen Daniels, pretty athletic quarterback. So we're going to see him go outside of the tackle. We're going to see him go inside of the tackle. This next one, we're going to see him just go through the tackle. At 6'3", 240, he's a lot smaller than 75. There's no doubt about that, this Kansas offensive lineman. The reason he's able to do this, we talk about speed to power all the time, just how fast that second and third step happens. I think he generates all this power, not on this first step, but right now, that second, third step. He's, the only reason he's able to bulldoze this offensive lineman who's probably got 2-3 inches, probably has like 60 pounds on him, is because of how fast he's moving right away. So the athleticism, the first, second step, we like. The closing speed, we like. Speed to power, we like. And we're going to see some bend also. The way that he's able to turn the corner, right here. Look at the way that he's able to just duck under here. That's really athletic, So we're seeing him go outside. We saw him go inside. We saw him go through. He'd go under, I think if that was physically possible, to be honest. But here we go. We saw how fast. This is kind of the game that gets played between offensive linemen, offensive tackles, and edge rushers. Right now, if you see a guy do this, just beat you to the outside shoulder like this, now you're thinking it's a different offensive lineman. You're thinking, shit, I got to start protecting my outside shoulder against 31. I have to get more depth on that first pass set because, I got good depth on the first one and he still beat me to that outside shoulder. And then, a couple plays later, he's doing something like this where he's faking upfield. You're taking that step. Look at how wide of a step this left tackle takes. He's not getting beat outside, but little does he know, Bailey now has a spin move where he can beat him to the inside as well. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't, damned if you don't do anything if you're an offensive lineman with this guy, David Bailey. And then the closing speed as well, This is a guy, if he's playing a running back, we'd be talking about the change of direction ability. Look at the way that he's able to just kind of break down here, stay in phase with Jalen Daniels. Athletic quarterback, it's not a statue he's facing here. And then this one's kind of a blend of that first step, that other rep we saw where he beat the right tackle all the way to the outside. It's a bit of a blend of that and then the speed to power. Now 75 did a good job getting there. He got a hand on him. But the way that David Bailey's moving, he still has power. We talked about that on that other rep. So great pass rusher right now. There's no doubt about that. 8.5 sacks through 6 games. It's kind of hard to dispute that. It's going to be a lot of fun to follow him throughout the rest of this Texas Tech season and then throughout the pre-draft process because this is a guy that's certainly going to be talked about in the first round. He's already getting talked about in the first round on we-draft.com. We actually have an entry on him. Somebody says he's a middle first rounder and they think he's a fit to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you want a place to store all your evaluations, please check out we-draft.com. Thanks for watching.